guess what day it is? It's Monday. It is the Mindful Merchants. And over here is my one and only co-host, Cali Reseller Luis. You guys, I am the Lone Star Picker. And guess what, Luis? Guess who we have today? We got none other than Tino, Hollywood Reseller.
Reseller in the house.
Welcome, bro. Welcome. Good to have you, man. Why don't you give yourself a little intro? Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live, you know, what's your business model, like, you know, what you do and stuff, just whatever you want to talk about. Just say hello.
Okay. So yeah, hey guys. So yeah, basically I'm a reseller from California, and I've been reselling for I think since like around late 2014.
Okay.
And been usually reselling on the side, kind of like a hobby, for example, let's say. And just the last few months, I started kind of like looking more into being, let's say, I guess, taking it much more seriously, especially when it comes to like picking like more higher end items and making less big purchases. Like before, I tried it in the past on bulk, it didn't go too well. So kind of learning much more from my past experiences and mistakes. Just trying to become a better seller. I get from California, and I've sold on Poshmark, and I'm selling also on Mercari as well. I'm still on Poshmark, but not as active as before. But I'm still there, hanging in there.
Okay. So you do Poshmark, you do Mercari. Did you say eBay too, or no?
eBay.
Okay, good. Okay, good to know. All right, Luis, let's real quick. We're gonna hold off Tino. We're gonna say hi to a few people in the chat. Let's say hello. Who do we got here, Luis?
All right. We got the one and only Johnny in the house.
There's Johnny, Cajun Roots Resellers. You guys, if you don't know this, he's got a bingo shortly after this. If he has it scheduled today, go check him out. But if anything, just mark him and subscribe to Johnny because he's a great guy in the community and he helps other resellers. If you don't know him, just subscribe to him and check out his bingo.
He has a couple of channels, great channels. He has his reselling channel and he has his cooking channel also. So
Tino would love that cooking channel. I know that.
Yeah.
Steal those recipes. And he does a little auctioning too. So
yeah. Hey Ella, how you doing, Ella?
There's Ella. Welcome. There is our faithful and devoted Ella. She is our good friend. She was a guest on the Mindful Merchants. We'd love to see you. Thank you for being here, Ella. Moon Goddess. Moon Goddess Treasures. Hey, she says, hey. Good to have you. Good to have you. Who else do you see, Luis?
Hey, TJ, how you doing, buddy?
There he is. There is the
Jarhead.
Jarhead.
Guys. If you guys aren't following the Jarhead Entrepreneur, make sure you guys check him out. They do auctions every Wednesdays also, so make sure you guys check him out.
Always check him out. He's bringing some good stuff. He hosts some really good content, and he shares it with other resellers. So yeah.
Hello, Mary T. Hi, y'all. Do I need a wrench? This is just a live, so
you're probably not today. You're good.
Not today, but if you come up to the auctions on Tuesday nights here on my channel, I will rent you. So
and that'll help with the signage of letting you know that you're all hooked up. Yeah. Hey, Katie.
Hola, amiga. ¿Cómo estás?
What good books are you reading? All right, you guys, if you don't know Katie reads, go check her out. Her and her significant other sometimes do some really cool content collaborations, but she is the epitome of like, you want to go see what she's selling because you will learn a lot. And I mean,
check out Katie's channel. She has a great.
She's brilliant. She's brilliant. Thrifty Pickers.
Hey, how you doing? It's been a while.
Good to see you. She's like busy. Yeah. Do you know about that, Luis?
Yeah, Bearded Thrift Machine. How you doing?
What's up, dude? Good to see you, man. You're always welcome down here. There he is.
There's Johnny.
There's Johnny. You guys really do go check out Johnny. He's a light of positivity in our world of dark reselling, and you know sometimes it gets a little arduous in the summer sludge of everything. Kind of seems like it's slowing down, but it's we're all here together. Hey, Susan.
Hi, Susan. How you doing?
I agree. Katie is awesome. Look at there. She is Lucky Charm, Wendy.
Hello, Wendy. How you doing?
She's like, Trent, it's so glad to see you.
Yeah, it's actually great to see Trent. Haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, it's we all get so busy and we have things going on.
Oh yeah.
You know that, Tino, right? He gets busy sometimes.
Yes, sir. All right. I think
We
we're all
caught
caught
up.
up for now. Yeah, we can keep it rolling.
You want to introduce our guest with a first good question? You always have something good, Luis.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
me,
if
I
you
can
guys don't know
ramble.
who our guest is Hollywood Reseller. I personally know Hollywood Reseller. He's been outsourcing with me a few times already. So definitely, a great guy. He knows what he's doing. He's on his hustle and stuff. So my question to you is, what got you into reselling?
Mm-hmm.
Very
There
good
it
question.
is.
Actually, um it's a long story, but to make it as short as possible, basically, and we're talking about like around 2010, around mid 2009, late 2010, around that time, I was deployed overseas, and I was trying to, let's say, have my wife at the time kind of get into reselling. So while I
Yeah.
was away, I have her basically, reselling, right? It was something that I had never tried around that time, and yeah, I mean, in the end, she ended up giving up on that. And a couple years later, around 2014ish, that's when she just. By that time, we were already broken up, right? So then
Okay.
later, she ended up just shipping out my what was to be my first death pile. And at that time, I was like, what am I gonna do with all this stuff? And then I was like, you know what? Why don't I just list it myself on eBay and sell it, see how it goes? And ever since then, I've just been looking, seeing what I can buy, and just to resell basically.
Almost didn't look back, huh? It's like
Yeah.
that's a good motivation, though. In a time of like we don't always talk about this. And I don't want to get personal in your life or anything, but like we all have stuff in our life that can be challenging and just things that are changing. Everything's constantly changing. What a great thing as a reseller to have that is something to like not only fall back but kind of keep your mind occupied. And also during times like that, you gotta make money. You gotta keep working, and sometimes things pile up. So like you said, instead of letting the death pile sit there, do you remember some of those first items you had a list?
Yeah, there was this website. I can't recall the name of the website, but it was one where they have kind of like a liquidation type of website. I
Oh,
think
okay.
an HD or HQ or something like that, outlet or
Yeah.
something like that. But I ended up buying certain items here and there from there. And one of the items was an airsoft vest. I'm sure you guys probably seen those. They go out for like $28, or at least they
Oh,
did
yeah.
back then. And then other stuff like Raiders doorbell, like it's kind of like those, like when you go to like the hotels and they have those do not disturb, but it was for like Raiders. And then some other items, for example, like micro SD cards, which I'm sure everybody in the beginning probably tried it out. So that was one of those
Oh,
things
yeah.
as well. So
There's
yeah,
always
I just moved
something.
off from.
Yeah, there's always something. Do you still have that stuff left, or you still kind of did you finally get rid of it?
I think I got some of that stuff in the attic somewhere. But yeah, I just never really, you know.
So he hides it. Okay,
He's
we know
hiding
his
it.
secret. His instead of totes, Luis, he's got the attic. He's
He
hiding
has the
stuff.
attic. I know, right?
We're
Whole
gonna
lot
make a
of
new
video games.
series on YouTube. What's in Tino's attic?
I know,
That'll be
right?
there we go.
Yeah.
I love your creative process. I know you kind of are part time with some of the content creation. I noticed maybe about a couple weeks ago was your last video, and then
Yeah.
you had one before. I think when you met Luis at the Rose Bowl. So I'm going to go into some of those questions, things, but before we start that, because like Luis asked that really good question. How did you get started? I'm curious, like who is like probably most influential on you, like really getting that reseller vibe and like being comfortable with it and saying, yeah, I know I can do this, but like, where do you think some of that came from? Like, did your parents ever resell stuff, or is there somebody in the family, or is it maybe your ex or somebody or a friend?
Well, one thing low key is that the family back in Mexico, a long time ago, right, way before I was even born, my dad's side of the family actually used to be into local reselling, and they would resell, I think, animals, livestock, right? And
Okay.
I forgot what else. And then later they ended up flipping cars over here once they got here. At the same
Mm-hmm.
time, my grandma's side of the family, she would, I guess, go to the market, like the central market, and just sell local fruits and stuff like that, right? So
Very
I
good.
guess maybe it's already runs in the blood. Maybe I guess that's possible as well.
No, that's a good way to, yeah. I mean, I think we do. I wonder sometimes, I question, like, I was reading some book about like how it's sometimes ingrained in our genes, sometimes things we can do that are like hereditary. But I'm like, and I often wondered because my grandfather was the same way. Like he was a farmer. He would bring stuff to a market all the way in San Francisco, in a truck, but like 2 or 3 hours away, you know, and it's like, you know, that just to go and sell it, you know, there was a specific market that had for what he was growing, you know. So I just, you know, I totally get that. I love that part of your story, or like you said, whether it was something that they were doing back home or changing into cars, you know, it's like, what is the next, you know, reliable or, you know, next meaningful thing that is practical, what is needed, you know. It's not like you're selling a horse, you got to ride. Now you got to ride a car or whatever, or you find parts, you know how to fix it, you know, things like that. What I had another question too. Like, I've been watching a little bit of your Instagram, and I know you consider yourself kind of new, but I think you've been doing this like long enough that you get it, and there's always something for us to learn. But your creativity when you're in your content creator mode and not reseller mode so much, it's very playful. I love watching it. Like, I don't know, I probably because I don't even know what to do sometimes, or I wouldn't even think to do it. You have this like guilty pleasure of just like, you'll put this oddest song I've never heard, or I'm like, I haven't heard that in a long time, and you'll put it and it becomes this like mini video. And here's Tino going, and then he's like showing all his stuff, and he's got like The Godfather or something like that weird.
Yeah.
What do you just where do you come up with those creative ideas? It's just like, because I think I've seen something like that in your YouTube video too.
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's say in the past, I have taken a cinema class. It's just a regular class, right, in college. And then I've taken
Cool.
also like a broadcasting class. And that kind of given me ideas on how to kind of just try to always have that mentality of try to figure out. I mean, if it's something that might sound unpopular, like some songs
Mhm.
might be, some people might not take it as seriously, or let's say as it won't be as catchy. But I mean, try to at
Mhm.
least find something that will stand out. For example, let's say if I'm doing a video, let's say I just bought this drink, right, jarritos. So what I'm gonna
Mhm.
look is something or word like mandarin, for example, right? So I'm gonna be showing this drink in different pictures, or different angles, and I'm gonna just put mandarin or jarrito and just see what shows up there. And I just try to find whatever is unique and it's not the same as other type of music.
That's what I like about it. That's what, you know, lack of a better word, I say creative, but to me, to be creative, it has to kind of be your own, you know, and your voice is there definitely in that. It isn't your, like, when you go on TikTok and you scroll through or something like that, it's like, how many times are you going to hear that song and see somebody do a rendition of it, which is not a bad thing, but it's like after 20 times, it's like, you know, I don't want to hear that same song again. You have something like new and original, and I'm like, where the heck did he pull this one out of a rabbit hat? You know, and it's like,
Yeah,
you know, you know what, and it's to me, it's delightfully playful. It's like, you know, somebody may go, what is he doing with this song? But then you watch it and you're kind of just like, it's there, you know. But like you said, you took this like in school. It is a way of production. It's a way of broadcasting. How do you broadcast to an audience that maybe you're still becoming familiar with, or this or that? To me, it gave me an insight that you're very, not only just playful, but you're creative. And so to do this type of work, I think you have to kind of be like, even for resellers, we have to be creative all the time. You got to be creative about when you come up to that garage sale, what are you going to say if that guy starts yelling at you? What are you going to do if this lady starts flirting with you? How are you going to get that deal done? You know, or what are you going to do when they're like, it's not for sale? Do you give up, or do you change that tune? You flip the record. You're playing the B-sides, you know, as far as I'm concerned. You make people think, you know, I think it's a good sign, you know, to see a reseller come out of maybe.
Yeah, I mean, to touch on what Lou was saying, when it comes to that, where you go up to someone and you're trying to make a deal and they don't want to, then you're like, okay, then you're gonna have to adapt a certain way to try to come at them at a different angle and hopefully get the result that you're looking for.
And maybe even disarm them, because maybe they're just like, I don't want to be here today. Well, yeah, it's your garage sale. Do you want to sell it or not? Yeah.
But
our
one
job
thing
as a reseller is to convince them. I'm sorry.
one thing that I've learned when they're having a bad day is just, hey, how you doing? How's your day going? Just kind of, you just talk to them a little bit. And once they see that you're taking them into, consideration, and you're really asking how they're doing, then they calm down. And then it's when you say, okay, I know you had a long day, but what's your best price if I get all this bundle right here? That's
that
where
can
you
happen in 5 minutes, or less. Yeah. Have you ever had a situation where you built relationships on like a start that was like, it didn't seem like it was going to go anywhere, and then all of a sudden, like this? Oops, sorry about that. Somebody was calling me. I forgot to shut my phone off. Apologies. That where somebody's like, you didn't think a deal would happen, but all of a sudden,
Mhm.
because you bring out you know, like I said, you flip the side of the record. They don't want to hear that same old tune. And it's my daughter. I apologize. My phone keeps going on.
That's okay.
Sorry, Tina. And
Yeah, I mean,
I need
one
to
that
get
I
one of
can
those. She
see.
was like, I can't call right now. It's funny. She always calls me. I tell her, don't call me during Mindful Merchants, and yet she does. So if she's rewatching this one day, I told you, don't call me.
Yeah,
So, you know, I guess what
definitely.
I'm trying to say is like, you know, like, what do you do that's kind of like what Louise was saying, you may go up and it may just be a one-time thing where like you're at a garage sale or at a estate sale. But have you ever built relationships upon it that extends? It goes on a little longer in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I remember one time with which what used to be my Amazon supplier. She gets a truckload full of pallets,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, in the beginning it was like that where she kind of didn't want to work with me on the prices, but then later I kind of was just basically telling her this is how I'm looking at the prices on the phone, and yeah, basically it's what I got on the stove, and your stuff is open box, right? Your stuff is from Amazon return pallet, and yeah, in the end, once I started talking to her, was being blunt about it, she just kind of in the end, she respected that. And she said, okay, definitely get some more items and we'll work out a price. And then after that, she started becoming cool. But then later, once she noticed that I started buying, let's say, $300-400 worth of stuff, and then
Yeah.
later, whatever she ended up keeping in that pallet, I guess she noticed that she wasn't really, because sometimes those pallets could be just uninspected and just whatever shows up, that's what you got to work with, right? So I guess she
Yeah.
became a little more, how do you say this, picky and try to raise those prices. But then by that time, that's when I just basically never went back. I rather just go with the flow and just see what else is out there for to get.
Yep.
But yeah, basically at first though, that's how it happened. That's how I kind of got to work with her because
You
I
got to
was
butter them up sometimes and just kind of like don't take it
Yep.
personally. Because
Yep.
like if you just walk away, imagine if you walked away, you wouldn't have those opportunities for a little while until, like I said, I don't want to say she was being greedy, but it's like that's what business is about. You have the opportunities. Reseller, well, not my deal. Sorry, we couldn't make it work. It was nice
Mhm.
working with you. Take care. But I'll send you some other people that might be interested. And then you keep that relationship going. I guess that's really what I'm getting. On is when you work in platforms like eBay and Mercari and Poshmark, there's very little discussion dialogue. You don't want to carry on a conversation, make best friends necessarily. You want to sell the stuff, let it go, and there's a transaction. You want it to
Hey,
be
Brad.
brief. But when you're dealing with people in real life,
Yep.
like you have, can you tell us a little bit about, wasn't this last weekend or one of your last days, you bought, was it from a moving sale? You bought a bunch of stuff for like $50 or something like that. You want to talk about that?
yeah. This actually just happened. When was it? Yesterday.
Or was
Yesterday
it
was
yesterday?
Saturday.
I thought it was this weekend. Okay.
No, no, no. Actually, it was. I think it was Saturday. It was Saturday. This Saturday that passed. So yeah, basically I gotta, cause when I do my videos on IG, basically I had this old phone that was really moved a lot, right? So I said, you know what, I gotta go and get a new phone. This was right after I just finished heading to some yard sales.
Oh,
I
okay.
had like at least maybe 9 different yard sales. So yeah, in the end, I ended up getting the phone. I tested it out. I went over there to moving stuff, local moving stuff, and yeah, and the door was open. I went in and I looked around, and I was around, let's say 1 p.m., 2 p.m. So it was around that time when I guess people start sellers in yard sales, moving sales, they start getting kind of like, okay, let's shut it down for the day. So in the end, I went in
It's
there.
getting late. They already set it up. They're tired. Maybe it's getting hot.
And I was
Yep.
just there with the mentality. I want to get maybe one or two or three items, and that's it, right? Just take off basically. Try to get a good price. In the end, she was just telling me, "Oh, would you be able to take everything for $50?" And I try to
What?
make an excuse that, yeah, and I try to make an excuse that I don't have enough space in the car, right? Or basically also that it was just way too much stuff. It's a really good deal. Thank you, I appreciate it. And in the end, I tried to get out of it, but she just started telling me about her family member. Her mom passed away, and it was just stuff that was just in the house. She needed to get out of it. So I said
Yeah.
it kind of made it a little harder for me to say no. I guess it was $50, right?
So she
So
was selling to you.
yeah,
But did you come out okay?
yeah. I mean, yeah, it was $50 in the end. So
Because you can always redonate some of the stuff, and if it was 50, if you get 100 out of it, then you're kind of helping her. You never know. Sometimes you find stuff in stuff. And I
yeah.
was watching. Did you see that? Was it you or somebody posted the other day? They posted this on Instagram. Somebody had a book in their death pile for like 6 or 7 months. When they opened it, there was like $2,600 in it.
Oh, I wish that was me. That
Two
was not
thousand
me.
six hundred dollars in a book. Can you
Good
believe that,
amount.
Luis? I'd be like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
"Woo! I'm not listing for a month."
Mm-hmm. That was not
No,
me. I wish.
I don't recommend that. That's not a mindful practice. Thing is
Nope,
reinvest that money and go buy something
exactly.
that you can double for 1,000 or something like that. That would
Yep.
be so. Okay, so you said you're on eBay, Mercari, and Poshmark. Out of all three, which one do you like the least?
Which one I like the
That's a
least?
tough question.
Honestly, I haven't had enough time that I'm putting in on Mercari yet. I've
Okay.
done couple right, couple list items there. But I mean, if I had to pick one, like the least, honestly, I didn't include this one, but I would say OfferUp. The reason why is because I've listed a whole lot more there, and then
Mm.
well, actually I was getting that was like my third most listed items right there on OfferUp.
Wow.
And then later I gave up on selling there because the people were just lowballing to the max, and then later
Yeah.
they were just breaking out, and then it was just to the point where I wish I would have just listed those items instead somewhere else, and I would have saved
Yep.
myself the trouble. Don't get me wrong, it's a good place to go and buy stuff, find stuff to source for, but when it
No,
comes to
I'm glad
selling,
you mentioned it because like there's going to be a lot of new resellers, and some of them may stumble on this program one day. They're going to go, oh, good. I'm glad I'm not going to think about doing that because you got to know what your platform does, but where does that reach go out to? Like me, the same thing. I didn't know. Everybody like go list on Depop. It's like for what I sell on Depop and what they offer, it's just not worth it. The return. You got to know what is your return on investment good. If not, move on. That's a good learning experience. Thank you for mentioning that. That's helpful because maybe you'll end up helping somebody in the long run. I think
hopefully,
that's good. No, that's what I appreciate about like your content right now. You're still starting. You're new. You're honest. You're getting you're getting out there. I know you have a voice. I'm excited to see where it's going to be in the next year. You may have a certain thing you may do. You may have I don't know, but I think you're well off to a good start, and it's good to know. Here's my next question. You went sourcing with this guy El Jefe over here, and how sharp is he? Is he brutal? Like when he goes in there, did you learn anything from this guy, or is he a little goes in stealthily and
no,
hides
he's
his?
a sniper for sure. He's able to snipe the items right away from far away. Me, it takes me a while. I don't have my glasses. It actually have to go literally in front of the vendor spot, and see right and take a look around. But for him, yeah, I can see he could, I mean, he knew about it already. Once he found
Yeah,
an item like pretty close, he got it. It took me, have to go over there and look, more closer. Yeah.
there's little Lewis. There's our next reseller. Hey, bro, what's up? What's up?
Hi. I've been wondering, did one of you guys watch the Space Jam movie?
The new one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the new one.
Oh, Tino, come on, man. You got to watch the new one so we could tell Luis what we think about it.
I
Yeah,
watched it
that's
like I think, like I watched it on Friday.
Cool. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was very good.
All right. Next time we talk, I want to hear about it later.
Hold it.
yeah.
So people haven't watched it yet.
I didn't even know it was out already. I didn't even know.
Hey, kid, we're having an interview here.
Yeah.
Tino's like, wait a minute.
Yep.
No, that's it. So that's that's pretty good. So what did you think of? What did you learn from the Rose Bowl? Because that to me is like the flea market of flea markets. And I grew up in California, in San Jose, and the Berryessa Road flea market was pretty big back in the day. It still
Well,
is.
for most of my life, I have lived in California most of my life, right? I've never
Yeah.
been to a Rose Bowl until Cali Reseller Luis invited me. And thanks, man. I mean, I know about the Rose Bowl parade, right? Everybody knows about that. I just
Yeah.
never knew about the actual the flea market that happens. And yeah, I thought it was really awesome. I think it's hopefully something that could be hopefully done maybe once every 6 months or once every 3 months or once, once a year at least. Hopefully all of us can get together. I thought that was really awesome because we can all learn from each other how we all go out sourcing for stuff, and we can see what kind of items we all go for, and then that's going to be like motivating for us to give that other item a try.
Yeah.
I
Once
like
we
that.
are,
Yeah.
I thought it was really a good, amazing idea that a good event that you came up with. That was really awesome.
Next
Yeah.
time you got to bring your Wolverine costume and just come in there and just, I want the sales, And
Yeah.
this guy, if you don't know him, this is Tino. This is Hollywood Reseller. Check out, he's got his information. You put it all down there, right, Luis? Luis has got it all in here.
Is actually Jennifer was dropping his link earlier too on the chat, so definitely
scroll through the live again. You'll see it. Thank you, Jennifer. But wait, real quick, we're going to take a quick pause, Tino. We're going to say hi to who else did we miss, Luis? Did we?
Mark's here. Look what Mark wrote.
What did he write? I saw it. It says everybody makes sure they're okay. Yeah, he's awesome. That is so awesome. Hey,
Thanks,
Mark.
Hello,
Hey,
Heidi. How you doing?
What's cooking, Heidi? There she is, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody give her a pat on the back. Put a little hand there and say, thank you, Jennifer, our wonderful, beautiful Jennifer Hayes. She is our best moderator. She takes care of us. Brad Voigt.
Hello, Brad.
Brad Voigt in the house. Maggie Doodles. We're going to get her on here pretty soon.
Yep,
Maybe August. We got to get her on here. There's Karen Bamberg. Hi.
Hi, Karen.
There's another Californian.
Nice.
Topher's house.
There is Mr. Topher. He's like, what up, T? It's always good to see Hyphy Gold. You guys check out his content. He's got a really good find here, both on Instagram and in his YouTube thing. Look, that guy's killing it. Like, killing it.
Yeah. Mark said, Tino rocks the flea market. He finds the deals.
Yeah. Well, I want to say this much. Keep going, Luis. Just keep rolling the names in. But Tino, I noticed at the Rose Bowl, I love the beginning of that. This is like, you guys go back about a couple episodes on his thing. He's going to be pushing out more stuff. But all I remember was you're playing this crazy ass song, and I'm like, what is this? It's like, it sounds like patriotic, and it's like dun dun dun, dun. And he's like, all you see is his shadow. And I'm like, why are you carrying that little carreta? And he's like, got it over his shoulder, and he's like, and all you see him is running. And then all of a sudden he's like, hey guys. And then he sees Louise and he sees Q and, and a couple other people. And they were talking like, I think Miss Taffy's coming here too. It was so funny. It was like, he just, but the whole time there, all you see is his shadow. He's carrying I'm like, bro, I'd be like rolling that sucker behind, pulling it like a child by its hair,
So right there, what happened was that actually was, how do you say this? I think I was kind of running a little bit late. So I was trying to rush it, see if I could find him. So the place was
giving you a hard time, bro.
Yeah, we were waiting for him out in the front, so he was trying to catch up with us before we went in. So
yeah, I remember I got a phone call that day, and Luis was like, "Where the heck is Tino? I was waiting for 2 hours." It's like,
and I thought maybe I would bump into them in the parking lot, but I mean the parking lot was pretty big, so I thought, you know what? Let me just keep walking straight, and hopefully I'll find them in the front over there somewhere. Because I was gonna get lost even more in the parking lot.
But that's a great experience too. All you resellers out there go, yo, I'm going to meet up at Rose Bowl. Hey, I'll meet you. I'm going to meet you there. I'm going to meet you at A, number 2 section next to the corn stand. You better be waiting there because that place is huge, right?
Yeah, it is.
How many miles? It's like, God Lord, walking. You can walk for
miles.
We
only did probably the left side of the Rose Bowl. Because there was still, we could have went up more and then actually go around to the back part, but we didn't get that far because it was hot that day. We were dying by the time we left, bro.
Here's Tino. I heard Mark and Q and everybody's like, "Gosh, it's so hot here,"
Yeah, it was hot, bro.
Imagine in the fall, like if you guys got up at wee hours in the morning, put on some those little lights on your hats, just be like going out there, go to it's sundown. I'd be game for that. You guys are like, no.
Well, actually, it's funny that you brought that up because out here in San Bernardino, they're going to actually start doing the flea markets at night.
Because it's so hot.
I just found out about that yesterday, so I need to actually reach out to Tino and to Mark and Jonathan Alfaro also.
If they put a carnival up and stuff like that, sounds like fun. Tino.
Yeah, I think it's from 6 p.m. to midnight, I think. So
that's
awesome.
That'd be something cool to check out,
Tino, what did you learn the most from, I know you said it's your first experience, but what would you say you learned going to the Rose Bowl? Give me 2 or 3 things that come to mind. What did you, not necessarily from these guys, but you can mention them, but what did you learn about going to, because it's such a big event, right?
Yeah. It was kind of like if you're going inside a concert, I mean, that many people, a lot. I felt like 1,000 or more people just rushing into there. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to Universal Studios or Disney, you know what I mean? All those people going in there just for the
That's how the
flea
flea
market.
market was. Yeah.
Were you concerned because of I don't like to bring it up, but like the C word, you know? Because I know in
Yeah, I was
California, you guys, your
concerned.
restrictions are coming back up again. I heard.
Yeah, I was very concerned, but I mean, at the same time, I was thinking I gotta get some good deals. There's a lot of
Yeah.
competition everywhere because everybody else was with their little carts too. So that's another reason why I kind of was carrying it instead of just going like that. The floor itself wasn't really that, straight. So A, I didn't
Yeah.
want to trip or fall or anything like that. And then B, I was trying to get into that line as soon as possible. So that's one thing. If you're gonna, I think if you want to go into that type of place,
Yeah.
just have that mentality of go try to see what you can find and try not to get too
Just don't be
distracted.
a crybaby. Go in there, wear your
Competition.
military outfit, come in there, go like Rambo.
No,
Yeah,
you
because
got to
the
remember
competition.
though, there was a bunch of other resellers besides us that are not on YouTube that are just doing their thing. So
But
it's
then
pretty much
there's the
going
ones
in
that
there,
are on YouTube too, and those guys are dangerous. They
man.
stealing all the good deals. They
I mean,
know.
Dino got some good deals. I found some good stuff. Yeah, I know Mark found some stuff too. So and
So that's
Escapi, of course.
encouraging. Isn't that encouraging, Luis and Tino? Like it's encouraging because if that place is that big, that means there's got to be something for everybody because everybody
Yeah.
knows everybody's on different levels. And I don't mean that in a bad way or anything. I'm just saying
No,
we
no, no. Yeah,
all are. Some guys are sharp and they know how to find it. Like they'll go
yeah.
now. You got no boom, 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 and they're like hawks.
Another
Hey,
thing
what's
was
up, Derek?
Hey, Derek.
I
Yeah,
thought
he's
that
Yeah,
it
just
would be
and some people ask me like, "Hey, how do you guys go sourcing out together? What if you guys are all fighting over the same thing?" But it's not even like that.
mhm.
I have my own niche. Hollywood has his own. Mark had his own. So if I'm walking and I see something that I know Mark's gonna be interested, I'll be like, "Hey, Mark, check that out real quick," Or Tino will be like, "Hey, Tino, check this out real quick. Have you seen that?" I'll be like, "Oh shit, I didn't see that." Boom, there he goes.
But I heard Tino, he's really sharp, and we learned one thing in the videos. Tino will go, "Hey guys, look at that over there," and then he'll go right in and he'll grab that thing. He don't
Yeah,
let nobody. He's like, I got it.
yeah.
yeah,
It was more than
definitely,
anything
man.
for the same reason that there was way too many competition, too many people. So it was one of those moments that it was definitely good to just try to get the best deals possible. And I mean, another mistake that I noticed was I thought the sellers, the vendors would be more willing to work with you on the prices, but that wasn't always the case. There was people who exaggerated on the prices, and I mean that was a little bit demoralizing. But I mean, you continue going around and you find much other sellers that will work with you. So I thought just to
I'm glad you
not let that be.
mentioned that because in that same video where you were going around, I will say this much. I remember watching this I think it was last month, whenever you posted it a few weeks ago, because I may have watched it. I remember you were like, how much is this? Okay, thank you. And you go to there. I'm like, is he being shy or is
That's
just
true.
not
Yeah.
interested in, because I know you are, no, you're very, no, I wouldn't say you're shy, but you're very well mannered and polite, like you just come in, you're very direct, which I like. I like that from not just resellers, but I like from people like, just ask me what you want. Okay. If not, it's okay. Move on. Because there's a lot of people going on. The energy must be like crazy to focus. But I remember listening in the video and you went, price is too high. And I'm like, okay, good. Because you gotta, there's a mindset like, why did you get that? Why did you pass that up? Or why were you not interested? I'm just curious. Because and then I remember you going, price is too high. he's like, oh hell no.
The reason why I say that even in front of them to kind of like try to make them panic a little bit and see if they'll maybe even throw in another amount, right? A counter
Yeah.
offer, I guess. Maybe they'll
No,
be like,
you
"Oh,
were
I don't want
polite.
to
You
do
said it.
something."
You left, and you said it like after. But that's good if you throw it at him. Give him something to
Sometimes
think
it
about.
works. Yeah, sometimes it works, but sometimes also when I do go for certain items, I just go to find out the price. And if then again, I don't really have like that much of an interest to want to try to, what I mean, pay whatever they ask for. I just go for the next item because I know there was a lot more stuff to go, pick from. That's
For
why.
sure. For sure. Yeah, no, like I wasn't planning on going out this week. I think it was Sunday. Anyway, I went out and I went through my neighborhood and I saw the sign and I went, let me go see what this is. And it was really nothing. And I still got out and looked and I asked the lady, how much for that record player? It was a 45 player, but it was very new. And she's like, $30. And I'm like, I open them. She's like, I'll take 20. I didn't have to say anything, And she's like, I'll just touch her. And I'm like, you just cut yourself down almost half. It's
Yeah.
like sometimes not saying anything helps. What are your thoughts on that?
I think
Just
that's true too. It's just that me, I tend to always be like that negative person that tends to be loud just to try to make them panic. I never really tried to stay quiet about it too much. I always try to be like, it's way too expensive. Or I'm like, shh. You know what I mean? Things like that that makes them wonder, oh man, maybe I'm losing this, this guy right here. So sometimes, most of the time, that tends to work. But I mean, yeah, I never really tried to just stay silent.
my
I
only
just,
tip would be that don't leave, don't back out so fast. Just kind of go like this and say, do one of those things where you got the quiet pause. It drives them nuts. It drives me nuts when I'm at a flea market because when you got to wait, it's that silence. And a lot of people can me, I just turn around. I go, okay, I told you the price. Either you want it or not. They can ask me, could you please come down? You know, but it is about one thing. Like that's why I was asking at the beginning, have you been in situations of business situations where you got to like communicate because you got to build a relationship at one point, even if it's only less than 5 minutes at a flea market or somebody like that lady that used to buy wholesale from. Because I think the epitome of like being able to communicate in one form or another, and just kind of even just eye contact or body language, expressing the right thing. Like, sorry, it's just too much. You you got to put yourself out there. What would you say your best deal was that you ever picked up?
just in general, as do.
Yeah, as far as reselling, yeah. Was it an item or was it a lot deal? You know.
Well, actually, that actually did happen recently, maybe a few weeks ago or so. I mean, out of the most random item, that the most expensive. Well, actually, there was two. Can I say two? The first one,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was a
Tell
little like
us.
I'm not sure which Sith Lord it was, but it was in his little like Lego bag, right? That guy
Hmm.
sold for like I think $128 or around there. Let's say,
For
and
one,
then yeah,
Hey, Russell.
that
hey
was fun.
Russell.
Yeah, that's when I decided to take Legos more seriously because I was like, wow, something as little as that. I looked it up. That's what it sold for, and I ended up getting it. I didn't get it for too low as well, but I mean, it was eye opening. Let's say, right? And then
That's a
the other
good.
one
I'm
was
glad you say things like that because it speaks volumes because you're talking about something almost microscopic. It's a small toy.
Yep.
It's easily overlooked. It could be in a junk box. It could be in a
Uh-huh.
toy box. It could be in a bag of goodies. It could be inside of a tin can some kid put, whatever. You find it, you better not just go, it's a toy. You took the time to, basically your time is your money. You took the time, you did the research.
Yep.
Now you're reaping the rewards, right? Hey,
and at
Kyle,
that
good to
moment.
see you. I also saw Brendan Sparks here too. Hey, Brendan, good to see you,
Hey,
Brendan.
Brandon. Yeah, he was in here earlier. Say what?
Hey, good to see you. Peace. That's great. That's yeah, that's so redeeming. I mean, $100 may not seem like a lot to some people, but you know what? $100 can bring you back up to your level of where you need to be. Like just to kind of catch up on sales when they're slow or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do the work. Luis, what else do you got? You got any other
Yeah.
sneaky questions here for our wonderful guest Tino? And you guys check out Tino's links down below.
Yeah, definitely. I've went sourcing with him, and so I know his hustle and all that is there. Just like everybody else is it's out there, reselling and stuff. So my thing is, where do you see yourself with this reselling? Say about a year from now, or sometime down the line.
Good question. So, well, I want to go back to where you mentioned shy because it's a mindfulness channel show.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is a good point that you brought up there. When it comes to being shy, yes, that's another reason why I kind of tend to go from A to B to C because
Hmm.
I'm sure it's not just me, right? There's a good amount of people out there. They maybe
Yeah.
won't say much about it. They say quite about it. Social anxiety, being around a lot of people, that's definitely.
Yeah.
But when it comes to that, I mean, what was I gonna say? And it's good to acknowledge that because there's a lot more people out there. But what was the question again? Sorry, last time I went to
No,
forget.
no, no, don't worry
Well,
about it.
like kind of where would you like to see yourself in about a year or more?
About a year from now, yeah.
For a long time, I would again source from online, different apps, this type of stuff in bulk, right? So, what I'm seeing myself from now to maybe a year from now to try to sell all of that off. Let's say $10 items, $13 items, and in lots of 10, right? To try to at
Mm.
least get that money back, empty out the space that I have now,
But more and
and
quicker. Yeah.
yeah, and try
Hey,
to
well,
concentrate on hitting more on those yard sales because I believe that actually does help with social anxiety, even though it
yeah,
might not for others. But I think if you push yourself and you go out there, it's gonna help in the long run. I feel like that's what's a plus
Yeah.
as well. Going to different places like that in person.
But it's like anything else, once it's not that you get into a better comfort level because you may still not like being in bigger crowds. But
Yeah.
if you learn to defeat it, like being, okay, let's talk about mindfulness. Part of the being mindful, and being mindful merchant is, okay, what is the strategy behind that? Let's say for somebody who has, not saying you, but I know I have a friend, she's a reseller too, but she's got deep anxieties. She does not ever want to go into a Goodwill outlet. She still to this day will not go with me because there's too many people in there. And it makes her feel like her energy is just, she can't do it. So I said, what strategies do you do to get to go to a garage sale? Because I know you go to garage sales. And she says, I get up, I'm the earliest one there. I will be the first one there because less likelihood is there's not going to be 5 people. There may just be one other person and me. I can navigate around that, but also she'll think in terms of when those people are over there hoarding and looking at everything, I'll go and sneak around. And she's like she's good. She snipes. She'll look into places people don't think to look. She'll go and ask and talk to the person if they're not busy. And do you have these things? This and that. She's maneuvering in different ways. So you can use it like in a spiritual way, like, the, what do they call that? The yin yang symbol. It's like, it's a little bit of this energy and it's a little bit of that energy. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just like, how do you balance it? Like when all the energy is over there, I'm going this way, and I may find other juicy stuff. I did that, like where I think I love to sell books. I love to sell the big stuff. I like the big ticket items, but I also sell t-shirts. If there's too many people looking at the clothes and they're old ladies, I'm like, I'm not too worried about it. They're going to get, they're going to get what they want. I'll go to the bookshelf. And then I'm like, nobody wants the books. But when I see people gravitate that way, you just got to you got, as a reseller, you got to do what's comfortable for you, and it's like, it's a constant arduous balance. But I will say this much, Luis and I say there's always something new to learn. Like, okay, if that doesn't work, what's the new strategy? Bail out, come back or whatever, or just hold your ground. Sometimes I've had other resellers come in and like, are you done looking? And I'm like, no, because I'm standing here. Sometimes just setting a boundary, it gives like an idea. Like, well, I'll have my arms out. Like I went to go buy something at the thrift shop today. This lady was just like this close to me, and I'm like, I look down and there's those circles that say, "Please stand 6 feet apart," and I kept going. What does that say? And she goes, "It says stand 6 feet apart." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm standing on my circle. Go away." Get out of here! Get out of here! What's that,
It
Tino?
does feel like over here on our end over here, most people are not following that no more. The 6 feet distance. I think that went
Are
out
they?
the
What do you
window.
mean? They're coming. They're hugging you. They're trying to kiss you. They're like bumping up and grinding.
Nothing like that. No, but I mean, like, let's say they're literally right next to you. Yeah, no, but that 6 feet distance, I don't think anybody takes it seriously at all anymore.
Oh, I love you, Tino. You know what is? You go with the flow, and you said that a little while ago. I think that's what's great about your energy. You're just. I think you're gonna go far. It's just you're gonna have to find the strategies and stuff like that that you feel like you still like doing. Just refine them and keep tweaking them. Your business is only gonna grow if you have fun with it. You keep thinking about it. I will say this much, you guys. If you guys don't know Tino, go down and subscribe to him. Show him some love. He thinks about things, and if you watch certain things, you can see he's constantly contemplating. I'll give you that much, bro. I know you're still on the path of making more content. How do you feel being a YouTuber? Because you talked a little bit about shyness. Is that still a little hard, or is it kind of a good enriching experience? Like, yeah, I'm putting myself out there. How do you feel
Yeah,
about
that's a really good question. Well, in the beginning, when I first actually went live ever, it was actually on Fundamentals Wednesday show. That was the first time. And after that, I know that I probably made a fool out of myself, which is okay. But I mean, I felt like, wow, that was really awesome. You know what I mean? Just being live. And
Yeah.
then it was just something that I thought, you know what? I got to try to get myself more practice being live. And then, of course, as you practice something, you're going to get much better. So I was like, yeah, I just try to find different ways to try to be live, right? And keep working on that because that's the only way one will be able to master that type of skills. So yeah, I like it. Not more than ever. I like it, and it's weird because sometimes making like going live on IG
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
doing videos on YouTube and having to edit, I seem to make more mistakes when I'm recording than when I'm just going live and just letting it go freely. I don't know why, but
Maybe you should do a few lives. I mean, maybe that's your cup of tea for a little bit.
Yeah.
Not all the time. You can go get a free StreamYard account and go live for 30 minutes or whatever. But I like what you're doing on Instagram, and I think it would translate pretty good on YouTube. I don't know if you can keep some of those recordings and put it back. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You were going to say something.
no, I was gonna say I don't. Well, because I usually record. The reason why I go on Instagram more is because it's just done through the phone and don't have to worry about having the phone, let's say, flip like this, and then
Yeah.
walking around. You know what I mean? Just to kind of try to like be
Mhm.
save time. I just hit that record or go live, and I just put it in the pocket.
Let it go.
Yeah.
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 That's how I.
You've been live with me once or twice. Yeah. And then I think I went on live with you on your Instagram a couple times, and at least once or twice. And I like to see what you're up to. What was that story about? You were like, I won't say under a bridge, but it was an overpass, but you were
Yeah.
under, and there's some guy there was he selling art or what was he selling?
Yeah, so basically this guy had so much, and yeah, the video's still right there on our IGTV. So basically, this guy had all these different kind of painting arts of painting, and that was when I went to with my sister to the stairs. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but we went to the stairs. I was coming back. This was on a Saturday, I think, and then I showed up the next morning on a Sunday because
Yeah.
I felt like I gotta do business with that guy. Maybe we can, you know what I mean? I can help him out. He can help me out. He gets me the art, and I try to see if I can get homes for those pieces of art. Yeah, I got one item. I felt like I woke him up, so I didn't stay there too long. I just
Oh,
for
that's right.
some
Because I
reason,
was writing you, and I'm like, I said something, but I didn't mean for you to go back. You're like, oh no, I don't think I want to. I'm not going to go bother him because I asked you. I said,
yeah,
ask him because I was asking you at the time, but by that point you were like, here's the deal. Boom. Tino is fast, you guys. Like he's in and out, so that's a good qualification for being a good reseller. Don't waste no time. But like, even though it was like you said, I'll buy this even if I don't sell it. I'm going to keep it because I like it. That I think is like a number one in art. Don't buy it unless you think you like it, because otherwise you're stuck with it. You know,
yeah.
that's a good no. That's okay. But I was saying is he did like a dribble art. It's by and there was a guy named Jackson Pollock that used to do artwork like that. That's why I was asking. Ask him if he knows Jackson Pollock, but he's probably going to go, I don't want to hear that. You know.
Originally, he wanted $50 for it, but the reseller in me kicked in, and he's like, "Is that the lowest?" And then you know what I mean, trying to help him out, and then later he ended up lowering it to 25, and I said, "Yeah, that's perfect." So, yeah, it was just something that just automatically happened. But I mean, I'm glad I was able to help him out, even if it was just a little bit, and he was able to help me out too. So we helped each
It
other
sounded
out.
like you did it more like out of the kindness of your heart, but also, for artists, yeah, that's a whole different thing. Whenever I go anywhere, actually, whether it's yard sales and stuff, I don't know about you, Luis, but like you and I have the commonality, like we love shirts and stuff like that, or anything we find that's good, we like to share. But I think when it comes to art, either you got that eye or you don't, or something like that. Sometimes you got to play and roll the dice. It's $5. It's $5. I brought $5 artwork and made $150. And so it just, where is your market? Who are you selling to? Do you think that's good enough to make it this much more? And the market's like on anything, it can go up and down. And it's like you find the right guy. You're more likely to get in there. What's your favorite toy to sell? Because I think you've sold toys a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, honestly, Star Wars toys, they sell pretty fast, they sell well. And what I've noticed was, now that we're talking about toys and Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, a lot of sellers, when you find stuff, they might sell for less than $10. But I mean, what I've noticed was I listed most of my stuff at $13.99, $14.99, $15.99,
So
with
you
free
beat a
shipping.
threshold.
Yeah, stuff still does sell. It's just that sometimes we look at what they call comps, I guess, on what's sold on the eBay. Sometimes you could actually raise it up a little higher, and actually you'll be surprised how the item will sell for a little bit more. So yeah, but yeah, Star Wars basically got a whole lot of that still trying to get rid of a lot.
Wow. Did you see Hyphy Gold says one time he saw an original Picasso. He says they got bid up at the sidewalk sale. It was at one of those sidewalk sales because he's in San Francisco. They don't really have yards too much. Yeah. And wow, it started at $100 and the dude left $2,000. because Picasso did make a few prints, and if you bought them from like one of those little ritzy galleries, like in San Francisco or wherever, Sacramento or wherever you're at, LA has them all, you know. You can find stuff, and I'm telling you, you got to look for printed stuff. Not everything that's signed and printed, but yeah, you got to kind of just go with the flow in that. Are you reading any books right now, or do you have time to? Is there anything that you read in the past that you like, you know, business-wise, that you would like to further investigate, or is there any books that's on your radar that you're thinking about reading?
I mean,
Business.
I have a whole pile of books, all kinds of books. I mean, when it comes to like that I want to get to read, I just never really put the time to reading it. That's one of my weaknesses for a long time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, me
one
too.
one of my books that I actually did enjoy reading was I'm sure you guys know about it, The Art of War, and it's a really well popular book out there. You heard of it, right? The Art of
I
War.
have a little copy of it. Those the little tiny ones by Shambhala.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
cool because it's. I mean, you could apply that information to business, to reselling in a way.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I like that book because that's a, you know, I mean, it's a really good book. But I mean, I have all kinds of books that has been mentioned in different channels as well, like all these different like millionaires, think rich, rich dad poor dad, think rich, something like that. I'm not sure that name sounds familiar, but yeah, all kinds of books that I still gotta catch up with reading.
It's funny you mentioned the Art of War. A good old friend of mine back when I lived in New York, just before I left, a little bit after like 9/11, and we would always in where I work was Citibank, and so like a corporate, we wouldn't call each other by first names. I don't know why we got in the habit of it. We would call each other almost like military, like the last name. So I was like, "What's up, Gomez?" He's like, "What's up, Wheeler?" You know, and we would say each other every morning. We greet each other. And we ended up going to lunches a lot, and I got him onto keeping a journal. He always appreciated that because he was analytical because of the, you know, the math and working in Wall Street and all the, you know, the corporate stuff about stocks and bonds and whatnot. And he had a Series 7 license, which is like a stock trader, but he was working for like an accountant thing. So one day he's like, "I want to thank you." And I'm like, "For what?" He goes, "For getting me out of my head and putting me down on the pen and paper." And I'm like, "Well, what'd you learn, Gomez?" And he's like, "A lot came out." And he's, "I want to give you a book that's helped me." And he gave me a copy of, was it Lao Tzu or whoever it was that did the art of war, you know. And I'll tell you what, it's a great book. It's like you said, you got to apply it though. You got to apply it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a question down here. It's what have you applied from the book to your business?
That's a good question. For example, let's say when that's a
Agent
good
Buffett
question. I guess
reseller.
one of them would be, I guess, fear. It talks a lot about fear. Like let's say, for example, if the enemy is bigger, you hide, right? In this case, if the person has a lot of stuff and you try to act broke, or try to act like you have very little money, you know what I mean? So they try to feel bad for you, I guess, in a way. I hope that kind of makes sense. But yeah, something like that. And then they tend to say, okay, let's, fine, because then they feel like they're the bigger guy, right? And then they're like, I'll
Interesting.
give this kid a break. And yeah, they tend to sometimes go for the lower prices. So I think that's kind of like what would apply.
You know, I mean, that's the strategy. Like, to be a good mindful merchant, it's not just, you do need to keep an eye on like your spiritual aspect, your body, mind, and spirit. You know, where am I up here today in this house? Where am I in this house? You know, where am I in my emotional house? You know, and it's like,
Another
you got to.
for example, if they see me driving around an old vehicle, they're gonna be like, okay, this guy for sure looks broke. You know what I mean? Instead of driving a brand new, let's say, leased car or car you're making payments on, just get an old car, a bucket, whatever you want to call it, and let them see that when you're driving, right? So then, I think that applies right to they're gonna think this
Oh yeah,
poor guy.
perception is a key thing. You're right. You know, that's a good point. Perception from the other side of the people looking at you. Oh, who's this? Who's this rough rat? You know, coming out of like an old crappy jalopy. Who is this guy? Tino? Right? That guy? He wants to buy this crap. You know, it's like give it to him for free. You know. Oh, you know.
Hello, Christina.
You know, you could. Yeah, that's a good valid point. There's something I wanted to show you here. I was going to go to. Trying to remember. Oh, who just came in a little while ago? Was that Asian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Agent Buffett. So he's the one that asked the question.
Okay, cool deal. A good question, by the way. Yeah, that's fun. Did you get? You know, he was one of our guests here on our show. You guys check out our playlists. If you guys don't know, This is the Mindful Merchants. It's Monday. We have Tino down below. He is the Hollywood reseller. We're getting close to our time, and we want to just honor and be respectful of yours and Luis too. He's got his family, and we've been. This has been a crazy week. Has it been crazy, the energy for you, Tino? Like the last few weeks, how's sales been?
Yeah, I mean, sales have been kind of slow, but I mean, I'm not sure if that's what they call a summer slowdown. I've always felt like I never really pay attention to the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. I just try to see what I can source every weekend to try to like the best possible price. Just list
Yeah.
it and just worry about what sells and just pack it and just go day by day. I don't really go too much with when it comes to seasonal stuff. I just try to find whatever's out there and just list it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll change over time, like one day you'll be like, no, I know I can do a little bit better than this. That's, do you keep an accountability board? I used to keep one a long time ago. And then we got Derek, Fundamentals of Side Hustling. He got me motivated a little bit earlier this year. Need to get off my booty and do it again. Is an accountability board. It helps you have insight and foresight, so you can see what you're doing in the present moment. Like, this week ain't cutting it, and maybe you need to like rearrange things on your schedule. Like we're like, normally I go to this place, but if that ain't cutting it, let me go try something new, and it's like, how do you see it in a different way? Because how else do you learn, right? So something ain't working, you're going to keep doing it, so those are playful little, I think, activities every reseller might want to keep it. Do you keep an accountability board, Tino?
To be honest, not really. All I do is I just I know that my spending budget every weekend usually tends to be around 300, and I just try to get as much as possible. I mean, as cheap as possible, right? And
Of
that's,
course.
I mean, based on that, once it sells, you know what I mean? I don't really write anything. I should be putting
Yeah.
that on.
Yeah. I think we all need to. And I will say I'm one of the guiltiest ones that are like, my record keeping isn't the best right now. All my receipts are in a box, but I need to, there's so much more to it. But the thing is I think at one point all of us, that's including me, is like, how do we level up? How do we want, what do we want to do to better ourselves? Do we want to stay on this coasting lane? Does that work for you? Is that good? Or in a year from now, how is that going to affect what you're doing? Things like that. So it's just always good questions to keep asking. Sometimes those deeper questions are a little bit dark because they seem so far away, but there's always light along the way that kind of gives you good, what's the word I'm saying? Lampposts along the way. Give those little cues and signs of like saying, that ain't working, or that could be a good thing. Or you limit yourself 300. Do you have 600 if a good deal comes along? That's
I never. I always try to stay on that budget, 300 or less, if possible.
Yeah. I have like a little savings where I put it aside or I do not touch, But if that deal comes up and I know it's going to flip back, what risks, does a reseller take? How do you do that? Can you invest? So I always try to like predict things, but the market's always kind of, an interesting world about that, Luis, do you have anything else? Ooh, we're having a storm now. I could hear the hail banging up against my in the middle of summer. It's like there's a storm coming here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You're gonna see my internet.
Hey, Loot Raider.
There's Loot Raider. There's another Texan. What? Go ahead, Luis.
And also I want to say hi to Don and Mary, 2 Hip Chicks.
Hey, 2 Hips Chicks are here. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all.
Yeah, we're getting close to the hour mark here, so let me just ask one more question, and if Louis has anything, and then we'll do our closing out. All right. So now that we're in midsummer, pretty much already mid-July, are you preparing yourself for fourth quarter yet?
Yeah.
Q4?
This is third quarter already. Yeah, July hit. Woo. And we're halfway through July, so it's like 2.5 months until fourth quarter.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Good question. I mean, a while back, I used to have an even bigger death pile, meaning stuff that was sitting not listed. So now I just started concentrating on listing as much as possible, whatever I have, under me, I guess, and try to get everything instead of just being sitting there not listed. Try to get everything listed, and other than that, just trying to give like Christmas stuff and seasonal stuff a chance, as long as they're new and sealed. I'm just continuing with that. because that's but the only that I really know, I guess, to be able to check what they sold for and see if it's even worth the risk or not. I know some folks are good at spotting stuff that might be open and they still would sell it for hundreds. I'm not there yet. Hopefully one day, but I do just look for the stuff that's new and few.
Yeah.
I noticed I'm getting a lot more. Like let's use eBay for an example. I noticed when on eBay, you get, oh, you have this many watchers. Like I going, oh, I got 6 watchers. What you could send them offers, right? I noticed a lot more coming up right now in third quarter. A lot of them are Christmas items. So I'm like, oh, okay. So that's a good indication, things to watch out for, things to look. And I'm glad, Luis, you asked that question, because what it brings me to is we've heard this in the past. I was reminded last year. It's, somebody told me in late second quarter, they said, I'm getting ready for my Christmas stuff. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? They said, well, think about it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, duh. Third quarter is when you want to list and get really not just Christmas, but stuff for Thanksgiving. If you got Halloween stuff, that's the first stuff to go.
Yep.
So if you don't have that listed by September, you're pretty screwed, like with Halloween or anything, that can maybe be related to fourth quarter.
Yep.
But I know is when the one thing I want to think of is at the end of third quarter, I want to be thinking about first quarter. I don't want to be thinking about fourth quarter anymore. That's to me is what third quarter. That's just for me. That's just my perception. Is like I want to look at third quarter was strictly about thinking about how to get all that stuff out. Have I done everything? Luis brought up last week. Have I ordered enough supplies? Do I need to go back to USPS and order more? Whatever your favorite delivery priority boxes are. Are you so not just listing stuff, but like what are you doing to prepare? Because I always hear. Remember last year, I heard a lot of people complain. I ain't got enough boxes. I don't have enough tape. What did you do? What did you do to help yourself? Because not saying you, Tino. I hope you don't think I'm talking about you. But yes, Tino, get off your butt and go get that tape. No, I'm just. But thanks for being here, bro. Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say when it comes to shipping supplies, good that you brought it up. Usually, what I tend to do to prepare at all times, I just buy packs of, let's say, 100 boxes on the 8x6x4, 9x6x4, the ones that I normally use, right? That 10x8x4, I believe, and then also the 3M tapes, the heavy duty ones.
So you got the numbers down pat. You know what you need. You know what you want, but you're only ordering 100. Don't you want to sell 200 items?
Yeah, but then again, if you order 100 of each, that's like a lot of places.
Luis is like, what did you just ask him? So I'm trying to like get that spark of like, but think about it. How much money? Just make up a figure in your head. How much money would 100 items bring you if you only averaged it at $10? Hopefully they're more. You want your threshold to be higher, $50 items to 100, some of them in there, like that little Lego, whatever. It doesn't matter the size or what it is. How many, if you got 100 items selling at $50, wouldn't you like to sell 200 items at that same?
Yeah, but normally what I do, I mean, when it comes to shipping supplies, once it gets to like 10 or 15 boxes left, that's when I go buy another 100 or 50. But yeah, that's the goal overall. At the end of the day, to try to get to that point where I can just be selling higher end items. Of course, but while I sell everything that's the lower end items still, they still gotta go.
In the wise words, because you collect Star Wars toys, in the wise words of Yoda, there is no try, you must do. All right, bro. We thank you for being here. We appreciate you. You guys check out Tino. Okay, now I got to go this way. You got to check out Tino. He is awesome. He is super, super, super cool. And you guys, if you don't know him, follow his Instagram first and foremost, and definitely keep an eye on his YouTube. He's gonna be cross promoting stuff. I'd like to see you do shorts in the same way that this is my challenge to you, or maybe something to consider. I'm not suggesting. I'd love to see you do shorts, and a lot of them. Maybe do like a challenge where you do it for like 2 weeks, which is 14 videos. You do shorts, which are less than a minute every day. The way you do your Instagram, they're crazy good. Like if you put that music or whatever, well, maybe the music might be an issue on YouTube, but if you can find free music that's just as quirky or something, have fun, bro, because people are gonna watch, and it's just you make it delightful. It's kind of like when Asian Buffett Reseller was here. He was doing these TikTok videos. We're like, what are you doing as a reseller? Everybody does things in a different way. So keep up the good work, bro. Yeah,
thanks. Appreciate it.
You want to close this out, Luis, and I'll say my last words too. And
all right,
what do you have for us?
Yeah, I just want to thank Hollywood Reseller for joining us today. I appreciate it. I know, like I said, this has been a while debating to have you on, but we do have, like I said, a list of people, and I know Louis has it planned out, month per month. So I know it was a while, but we finally got you on. So
Yeah, we're so happy to have you, bro. You guys.
thank you, and thanks to everyone that showed up to check out our Mindful Merchants with Hollywood Reseller, and hopefully you guys are having a great day. And don't forget, tomorrow I'll be having my auction here on my channel, 6 p.m.
I'm going to be bowing out that day. So
yeah, Louis will not be here with me tomorrow, so I'll be riding solo, and who knows, I might have a special guest pop in. You never know.
Tino, give us some last words for a new reseller that's watching this. And what advice would you give them? And then we'll finish it right there.
Well, to make it short, I mean, even those little sales, as crazy as it sounds, at the end of the year, if you add it all up, in the long run, if you want to do other type of investments, it will help you. So just don't, I guess, discount the small sales because throughout the year you could do a lot still. But yeah, try to stick to the higher end items, and yeah, be as picky as possible.
That's good. That's always a good suggestion because I've seen people sell a lot of littles and they find bulks. Selling a lot of littles can bring in a lot of money, and it all adds up, like you said. Thank you guys for being here. Maintain your focus and elevate. This has been Mindful Merchants. We'll see you next week. Guys, take care. Peace.
See you guys. Peace, love, and soul. Peace and chicken.